I was on the bench next to Kobe. I was playing you guys. This dude right here was on fire. They called a timeout. Kobe sat down, and yo, you could saw flames coming out his nostrils. And the assistant coach recognized me, right? Hey, JB, what's up, man? Hey, Kobe, you know this guy? Kobe never looked at me. He said, I could feel the heat off his body. Yo, he was mad.
Yo, peace. Welcome back to 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. I'm Carmelo Anthony here with my co-host.
You know what it is? My name is Kazim Famiwide. You could call me Kaz. And this is a Wave original presented by FanDuel. You know what it is, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. On this episode of 7 p.m. in Brooklyn, all our guests are special guests. But this one is a very special one, guys. He's an actor. He's a comedian. A former writer on SNL, but man, one of the most funniest humans to ever grace God's green earth because Curb Your Enthusiasm. I mean, tons of shows, but man, playing Leon on Curb Your Enthusiasm, incredible run. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Hook, the one and only JB Smoove.
In the building, baby.
Yes, sir.
Hey, hear you say all that is absolutely, it's flattering, number one.
Of course.
But when people break down a list of things that you are, you know, that's, you know, in our business, is your IMDb, right? IMDb applies to your, you know, professional career, things you've done in movies, TV, of course, all the things you've done. But people should really have IMDbs so you know who to fuck with. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know, I'm saying, if you knew an IMDb of somebody that, you know, I want you to meet my friend Josh.
Yeah.
Send me his IMDb. To see what he's done in life, to see if we, you know, if we match. If we match.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna be cool hanging out with him like that.
Yeah.
Everybody should have an IMDb. People go to jail got a record.
Yeah.
Actors and us, we got IMDb. People need a version of IMDb so you know if y'all going to jail, if you want to hang out with this dude. You know what I'm saying?
That's
association. Sometimes you hang with people by association.
Yeah, but now
you don't know if you'll be cool with them by yourself with them.
Now they got the facial recognition shit that's coming.
Man, that's
So
crazy.
you could look at somebody, they shit gonna be
Right there.
the square.
With the meta shades or whatever.
Oh, you can't hide no more.
Nah, man.
Facial recognition everywhere, man. People gonna know everything about you, what you did today.
That's a fact. I'll use Instagram as my IMDb. Like if I see an Instagram, if I find something, I'm like, all right, let me.
But that could be fool's gold.
Of course, but it's something.
You know,
something.
That's what
It's like IMDb.
That's
It
what
could be
they want.
fool's
That's
gold.
top layer. That's top layer though.
The future is now. The future is now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's scary though. We're talking about AI, talking about all this stuff, man. The future, it's crazy because sometimes the future just, you know, organically moves and you just get, you know, you get used to things. Like back in the days when you had to wear a seatbelt, in the beginning, you was like, no, man, you didn't wear no damn seatbelt back in the day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But when they said the seatbelt law, everybody, you had to get used to it. They even had cars that automatically handed you your damn seatbelt. Remember the first cars? That little and handed it to you. You put that bad boy on because they knew people's ass wasn't going to be ready for the seatbelt yet. They had to make sure you knew every car was built with that little, you know, yeah, thank you very much. You put that seatbelt on, you get no damn ticket.
Yeah.
Click it or ticket. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember
They
that's
had
still a
slogans.
thing.
They had slogans
That's
about
still
that.
there though, right?
do it. Yeah.
They still do it. But back then they had to make sure people knew for your safety, you put your damn seatbelt on. But they still have states where your ass don't wear a helmet when you're riding a goddamn motorcycle.
That is true.
None of that shit makes sense. You see people riding by you with their damn hair blowing in the wind. You're like, yo, these dudes, they got no damn they got no goddamn helmet on. Meanwhile, I gotta wear this shit right here. So I don't get a ticket for not wearing my seatbelt. That don't make no goddamn sense.
So you don't fly out the window like a rocket ship.
What do you think what happened to the motorcycle dude? He riding a motorcycle. Him and his girlfriend ain't got no helmets on. But you gotta wear a seatbelt? No,
The easy riders, man. But we got JB in the building today, man.
Just warming up.
You know,
We warming up.
we warming up. We're gonna get into a bunch of topics today, man. Like the NBA playoffs, the New York sports scene, working with legends in the entertainment industry. And this is a big one for us.
Big one, bro.
The state of black comedy in 2025. Like I want to touch on just your thought process on where the state. But we're gonna get to all of that.
And most importantly, I can't wait to participate in America's #1 segment with our guest JB. Fuck with it. Oh, fuck out of here. It's going to be a good old time. But first, we got to kick things off with The Connect, brought to you by Peloton. Find your push, find your power with Peloton. JB, we appreciate you pulling up to the hook. We usually love to start the show, especially with somebody who has a rapport with Melo, about asking our guests, do you guys remember the first time you two connected?
I think people precede themselves. You know what I mean? You know, there's professionalism side of people, and then there's meeting people who they are. You know, I like to meet people who they are, and I like to meet people based on what they do. You know, you can be a fan of someone, what they do, and you can also be a fan of them by how they do it. And the man behind what he does is the most, you know, respectful way of meeting someone. And you both have things you're doing, but you find this place where you meet in the middle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you respect what they do. He's on the court and off the court, man. This man right here has been nothing but gracious. And you know, when you meet someone who's doing something amazing, and they tell you you're amazing, or they like what you do, that right there just shows you that, look, everybody got to root for each other. And I'm rooting for this dude on and off the court. And the same thing goes, you know, it's reciprocated. You know, and you know, this is what we do. We provide. Anybody who provides something for people, you gotta look at it like that too.
Right.
You know, we make people happy. You know, we make people root for us, but not just for us. They're rooting for your success, and you're giving them something back. And you know how New York is. New York is always about the effort put in.
Right.
It's never about gimme. You know how many times you've seen a loss and you still can't wait to put your foot in somebody's ass next game. You know what I mean? That's how New Yorkers think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we just want the effort, man.
Right. Yeah.
We want the effort every time you hit the court, the football field, or whatever, man. We root for everybody. You do it. We down, man. And meeting this brother right here, man, you know, I got a chance to do an amazing commercial with his sneaker, man, and that was a blessing, man. One of 4 or 5 commercials I've done for sneakers.
Yeah.
But man, I got a chance to do one for my city and for this man right here. That's a blessing.
Man, let's shut that clip out for folks who may not have remembered that, because this is a classic right here.
Love this one.
Oh, we're gonna miss the game. No, we're not. We're gonna miss the game. Stay calm. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. What? I don't know these people. Close your eyes. Close your eyes first. You want me to close my eyes first? Close yours first. Fine. Then I'll close mine. Okay, they're closed. We're at the Garden. No, we're not. We're stuck in the tunnel. Shh. We're at the Garden. 5 seconds left. Knicks are down by 1. Down by 1? I can't stay calm. We're down by 1 point. Melo's got the ball.
Wow.
Oh, you feel good now? I'm floating. Yeah.
Melo.
Yes, sir.
Stay mellow, baby.
Yes, sir.
Yo,
classic
That was an
right
underrated.
there.
That was an underrated commercial right
Shout
there.
out my guy
We
Chrissy
did
D,
4 of them
though.
joints, man.
That was an
We did
underrated
4 of them joints. Man, you almost made me start wearing a damn headband in my regular ass life. You know, where you look in a suit and you got a goddamn headband on.
Yeah. Shout out my guy Chris DeStefano in there, too.
Chris,
my guy Chrissy
Big
D.
Chris was at the game last night, man.
Yes,
We had
sir.
a blast, man. We talked about the commercial too, man. We always do.
Yeah.
Every time we see each other, we go, Melo.
That commercial was epic.
Epic, man. Come
Epic.
on.
Yeah, those are classics.
Come on, man. You got
right
a palm reader. You know, this lady right here predicting what's going to happen in the game.
there. Yeah.
Come
Shout
on,
out to
man.
Tinker Hatfield too.
Tinker made
designer.
those M10s,
Tinker was
right?
the one.
Damn.
Yeah.
Those
Who
was hot,
made
man.
those?
You know, I
M10s.
got 2 pairs. I got a pair that I wore, and I had another pair I just keep in the box.
Yeah.
I pull them out
The
once in a
first
while.
shoe that he really like locked into.
Yeah.
Outside of MJ's.
Outside of the Jordan
the
line.
retros. Yeah, the ones that he did. And
Those
a
are
couple other
great.
ones here and there, but
Them just hot, man.
Those are
like
great Hooper
he
shoes,
reached
too.
out and was like, I wanna do your 10, because that was the anniversary. The M10 was the anniversary.
What was it like working with Tink, man? Because I know he's very
Incredible.
hands-on. He wants to
Incredible.
he wants to inject a little bit of your personality into the sneaker.
Yeah.
Or what it's like. What was it like?
But when you actually have a chance to work with geniuses,
Mhm.
like this is a genius who we talking
Yeah.
about, and you get a chance to one-on-one pick his brain, but he's actually giving you the game.
Yeah.
A lot of times, most people would just save the game and just give you little bits and pieces of the game, and hey, I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna show you. Nah, tinkered every step of the way,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
from the shoestrings to the eyelets, like to the sole, to the cushion, to the stitching in there. Like, people don't know that shoe got banned.
Wait,
What?
the M10s got banned?
Yeah, because that was the first time that Tinker, we went totally left and we put the chrome back.
Yeah, I saw that little back piece on there. Yeah.
You know how many fines, you know how much money I had to pay for?
Why can't you?
Because they said it was reflecting the cameras on the on the shots.
So it was making it hard to...
You talking about memos sent to the Knicks? Memos. You can't win, you can't win, you can't win. I'm like, we gonna pay the fine, fuck it.
Really?
Fine, man.
Yeah.
How much was the fine that you paid for him?
It was a lot. But look, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully, you know,
but you can't...
Jordan did
Jordan Brand do that. Exactly.
They did their thing when it came to that. But yeah, they made me take hundreds of thousands of sneakers. And I had to like
color in the chrome.
And had to color them. Like
color them, put tape over all that stuff, man.
So the light didn't hit it.
It was matte. We had to matte all of them. It was a disaster.
I know that, man. That's crazy. I thought, you know, you hear about banned Jordans, you just hear about the Jordan 1s that were banned.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But you didn't know they was banned back then until they said they was banned years later.
Exactly.
People didn't know that sneaker, I went through hell with that sneaker.
Yeah.
And that was one of my proudest moments, like in the sneaker game. Like, I'm working with Tinker Hatfield.
Yeah, I'm working with the greatest.
Now you gonna tell me I can't wear this shit? You know how much time we put into this?
Damn.
God dang it, man.
But the commercial was fire, though.
Nah, the commercial was
fire campaign, man. And I love doing campaigns because you're locked in. It's not just a one-off. You're locked in doing something dope. And we shot 4 of them joints, man. One was in a nail salon. You know, we had to get our feet done. Man, we did one in there, the palm reader. We did the Subway joint. And man, but see, that embodies what it is to be a New Yorker and a New York fan, man. Right. You know, all those commercials we did, it just, you know, it just showed you what it was like, man, to be hyping your team up, you know, rooting for your team to win, man. And that shoe was a big part of that. Yeah. And it was a big part of being a part of that whole Melo run, man. It was just dope.
It was like the story of those commercials are usually like, you know, and it's funny to say now because the Knicks have been good for a while, but like, you know, people don't understand how hard it was before Melo came to New York and what it's like when the Knicks are good and you're you know, talking with other people around the city, man. No matter what the occupation is, because that's really what it's like. If you're going to see a fortune teller and they got some Knicks on, you talking about the Knicks. If you go into, you know, take the garbage out and they got a Knicks hat on, they're talking about it. So like, I always thought that commercial was funny because it was always a different scenario.
Yeah.
Because that's what New York is. It's just wild scenarios.
And I always had like, so my thing with releasing the sneakers from a campaign marketing standpoint, it was always like a comedian.
Yeah.
Like I did before JB, I did Tommy Davidson, right? Early on, right? When he was almost like, he was like the little penny. Right, you know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I mean? He was like the fairy godfather. Like, you know, so I always utilize comedians because I understand what a comedian brings.
You always champion black comedians. I mean, comedians in general. But you're a big champion of like stand-up comedians because like
that's one of my favorite genres.
Yeah, like the art of it is just so incredible, especially like, you know, I've been watching you since Def Comedy Jam, man, and like watching that evolution from, you know, just seeing random dudes for 15 minutes, 7 minutes go on to do incredible things. And it's such a self-made gig.
Yeah, and I think comedians are also we can attach ourselves to almost anything, man. Especially branded stuff, of course. You know, it works. I think we have a different projection, how we speak and how we, you know, we are used to being in front of people, so we pull you in.
Right.
You know, I got people who tell me they were in the kitchen doing something and they can hear on the TV.
Yeah.
And they're running in the living room. Oh, I know I heard JB voice. You know what I mean? And we have recognizable voices to the point where when we do something, you think about the sneaker commercial. You think about the product that we are selling, you know, and it's a natural transition to me for comedians to have these branches and you know and utilize what we do naturally. You know, I've done so many commercial campaigns, man, that I got, you know, and even this branded world, you know, I say 10 years ago, it wasn't this.
Right.
We jumped in the branded side. You know, I done everything, man, in the branded side. And literally, it was before people understood what this is, what we have now. So I got a chance to really be on the ground level of, you know, branded content. You know, I did a LeBron commercial that never got aired.
Wow.
I did a LeBron commercial in Miami, man. That commercial was so dope. Everybody's in that joint, but it never got aired.
Yeah.
You know, I think LeBron had a few things going on. He had the Samsung joint commercial, and then he had, you know, this other shoe that was coming out. And yeah, man, that commercial was fly.
Yeah.
But it never got aired. And I say that because, you know, when someone, but it's also, for me, it was relationships I've had with directors who shoot dope ass commercials, you know? And I shot that one commercial with the director, and literally every time he did another commercial, he would say, I'll do it if you get JB. You know what I mean? And that right there, that's that old dropping the popcorn going into the forest. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So people got to be able to find your ass, and you got to be able to find them. So, you know, you got to leave a trail or something.
Yeah.
You know, and I say that because you got to, you know, and all the intangibles, like coming on time, giving them what they want, giving them extra stuff. You know me, I'm gonna improvise. I'm gonna turn that character into something different.
Yeah.
If you tell me make it your own, I'm in there.
It's wild because, you know, I didn't really put the connection until you started breaking it down like that. It's like, yo, so many legendary stand-up comedians have always been a part of like sneaker releases, right? Like you think of Chris Rock with Lil Penny, you know what I mean? You think of Kevin Hart has been in a bunch of stuff. Drewski right now, he does a bunch of stuff. I think John Morant just dropped a sneaker, and the dude that I followed on TikTok that I just thought was a funny like basketball content creator, he's in a commercial with him. You know what I mean? Like, it's funny to think like, yeah, if you selling me a sneaker, you got to have the dope athlete, but like I gotta have something to remember it by, and like it's usually the go-to.
Yeah, so people remember moments.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We all remember moments. We sit up here and we talk about moments throughout the career. That was a moment.
Yeah.
Our experience.
Yeah.
So when you talk about comedians, they give you moments. You know what I'm saying? Just by the way that he said, the way they speak, the way they talk, the way they improvise, the way they understand rooms, the way they understand people and can see crowds. And you know, it's a lot of work of art that goes in. And actually into that. So as an athlete, if we get a chance to, because most of the time they think we so serious as an athlete, right? And most of the times they say athletes, they got no personality. You get what I'm saying? So if you put a personality next to an athlete, then
the contrast is
you know what I mean? Then that becomes
it's usually
that becomes a moment.
It's usually like the athlete like doing some athletic stuff.
The athlete in the back, he dribbling the ball, 20 legs, he doing dunks, and the comedian is doing they leading the show.
But at the same time, look, the game changes. You know what I mean? Or the game's the same, but the rules of the game change.
Okay.
You know, that's what happens with athletes. The game is different from when you played. The rules change. They move the rules. They change the rules around. They want the game more entertaining, right? They did that in football. They do that in basketball. But comedians have to readjust too. What the times allow us to do. Yeah. You know what people are hearing differently about what we do. You know how far we can go with what we do. You know, but there's also been amazing athletes who had this presence, man. You know, whether they were like Shaq was a big personality. Really big personality, man. And that allowed him to do what he's doing now. You know, his growth when he was a player was crazy. Funny guy, you know, he did it. Kobe was the opposite. Kobe was quiet. You know, I'm telling you, man.
I feel like they tried to make Kobe that earlier in his career, and then it kind of...
It got to be you, though. It has to be you.
It was just...
It has to be you.
Yeah.
I said, when I signed with this one agency, they gave me tickets to a Laker game, and I was right... When I tell you, I was on the bench next to Kobe, and man, they were playing you guys when you were in Denver. Yo.
I was waiting for you to continue the story.
Yo.
He's like, I remember that night very vividly.
When I tell you, y'all was wearing their ass out. Wearing their ass out, man.
Is this the conference final?
Man. I don't remember the game.
Nah, this was
regular season?
Regular season.
Okay.
Man, I sat right next to Kobe on the bench, yo. And yo, when I tell you, this dude right here was on fire.
Yeah.
No, on fire that night, yo. I'm looking at this game, because I'm not a Laker fan. I'm a Laker fan. But, you know, my guy gave me the ticket, so I went, you know. I said, man, it's still good to see a game, you know what I mean? And I remember Denzel was sitting across you know,
in the corner.
Ain't gonna throw the man under the bus, but he know damn well he's from New York City. D, you know better, D. You know better, D.
Propeller, man.
D,
Easy on Denzel. Easy on
You live on the
Denzel.
borderline of Mount Vernon and
He propeller, man.
and North Bronx, baby. You know what it is. But I can see Denzel across, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you something. Y'all were lighting them up so bad. It called a timeout. Let me tell you something. Yo, Kobe sat down, and yo, you could saw flames coming out his nostrils.
Damn.
He was just like, he didn't even blink. He's like, I was like this, yo, Kobe ain't playing. This dude's passion for this game, this regular season game, was crazy.
Yeah.
And man, the more y'all was killing him, the boy, you was so heated.
The bigger the nostrils got.
Yo, and the assistant coach recognized me, right? And the assistant coach said, hey, JB, what's up, man? Good seeing you, man. Hey, Kobe, you know this guy? You know this guy? No, Kobe never looked at me. He said, I was like this. I could feel the heat off his body. I was like, this dude ain't playing. He was mad. Rest in peace, Kobe, man. He was mad. But I saw what we talked about, man, which is your passion for something and how it relates to everything.
Yeah.
It relates to everything.
How you do one thing is how you do everything, man.
Man, look.
FanDuel is giving all new customers a shot at $250 in bonus bets. So join FanDuel today. You'll get started with $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. From three-pointers to steals to assists, FanDuel has so many ways to bet your favorite player props. The NBA regular season is officially over and the playoffs are here. It's win or go home, so unless these teams want to be home watching, it's now time to lock in. Plus, after the game tips off, you can even combine live prop bets into the same game parlay for a chance to win big. Just visit FanDuel.com/7PM to get in on all the NBA playoff action. Peloton has what you need to achieve your fitness goals no matter why you get started. In my post-retirement career, I still wanted a routine to achieve those goals, maintain a healthy weight, and keep my overall confidence up, which is why I've stayed locked in with Peloton.
Offering a variety of challenging classes from 4 weeks straight building to running indoor and outdoor workouts and everything in between, Peloton will push you to achieve your goals.
You can challenge yourself anywhere with an all-access membership. This allows you to lock in at home with your tread or take your favorite classes on the go with you through the Peloton app.
Backed by thousands of members whose lives were changed by these workouts, experiences, and community, you can use the app to get stronger and use personalized programs for your specific goals.
So find your push, find your power with Peloton at onepeloton.com. Have better sex with Blue Chew. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex.
And starting now, Blue Chew is offering a combo so strong it'll knock your socks off and your neighbor's socks off. You'll have to move to towns with the amount of noise you'll be making.
Oh, that's right. Blue Chew Max has arrived and it combines the active ingredients of Viagra and Cialis into one chewable. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
This combo acts fast and lasts. And the best part, securing Blue Chew's tablet is all done online. That means no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy.
Just sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. You can even get your first month of Blue Chew for free.
We can all relate to wanting to feel like a champ, especially in the bedroom. And Blue Chew can help. Discover your options at BlueChew.com.
And remember, we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try your first month of Blue Chew free when you use promo code 7PM. All you got to do is pay that $5 in shipping.
That's promo code 7PM. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring 7PM podcast.
Do you think it's important to continue to entertain without offending people? Like, how important is that to you in your comedy?
Man, look, you offend people who should not be there. in that building, in that seat. Those people are offended.
Yeah.
But those people know what they're getting into.
Yeah.
If you follow up someone and you're a fan and you go there and sit in the audience just to wait for something bad just to be said, you wrong.
Right.
You wrong. You know what I mean? If you go, look, I'll give you an example. If you like fine food and fine dining, do not go and sit your ass in Costco and eat those hot dogs or that whatever they sell.
Right.
Whatever.
It's not the $2
or that
hot
slice of
dogs
pizza
in
from goddamn Costco.
Yeah.
You know damn well you wanted something really good today.
No gas station sushi.
There's no gas in the sushi. You know, I travel a lot. You know how you go to those, you see those hot dogs rolling on that damn
Little 7-Eleven joints.
They rolling, cooking.
The taquitos.
You don't want that. You don't want taquitos. You don't want no damn taquitos.
Shit been there for 8 hours.
It's 8 hours. It's 8 hours. Like you hear it saying, ouch. You know, let me tell you. So that is what I mean. You go where you are, what fits your sensibilities. And look, man, it's more than, there's a lot of ways to be entertained and to be motivated. And sometimes you need to hear it from somebody that you won't hear it in that context anywhere else. The news can't even give it to you like a comedian can give it to you.
Yeah.
The news can't do that.
Right.
The news is straight news. If you were subject to straight news for the rest of your life, you would lose your marbles.
Yeah, you're done.
If you had no take on it, no additional take on it that a comedian can give you, I never thought about it like that. That's what comedians do. We find a way to reshape it and make it make sense and make you able to consume it in a different way.
Right.
Come on, man. That's all that is.
It feels like now a lot of comedians, they have a little bit of a leaning, right? Like as far as like, watching what news you consume, what you talk about on a stand-up or something like that. Like, would you say, okay, you don't want it to be, if you just watch the news the whole time, you'd go nuts because, you wouldn't really know how to digest this thing. How important is it to you to, give your sort of brand of comedy in a way that also educates? That, like, me growing up, I didn't learn about taxes until Chris Rock talked about it on the stand-up. Right, like when he said they don't pay tax, they take tax. I was like, what the hell does that mean? Shit made sense. Like that's how I figured it out. So for you, like, how do you sort of implement that when you're, as the comedy game sort of changes and you continue to stay as successful as you are? I
just do what I do, and it's kind of like this. If I apply it to sport, I always say every big man should have one shot that you can't defend.
The go-to shot.
You got to have one thing that you can make that shot 65% of the time or whatever it is, but you contested or not, you got to be able to work on one move that is yours. And that's what I worked on. I worked on my move. I thrive in physical comedy. That's my main thing, is being physical and being able to over-explain something on stage, or a silly way to see it. You know what I mean? And I think that's been me forever. From my humble beginnings at the Uptown Comedy Club in Harlem, even in college, man, I was a funny guy. But I think, there's this unique way of, it's all in the packaging. It's all in the packaging. Whatever package you are wrapped in, and you're able to generate that and do that. It's a golf swing. You know what I mean? You master that golf swing, man, you probably see the ball twice.
Yeah.
You don't see the ball as many times as when you first started. Because you already got this routine, and you hit that ball. Some people turn their back before the ball hit the ground. But they already know where the ball gonna go at. Yeah. They know their swing. That's what we have. We have a golf swing that works every single time. And look, comedians, I know I do it. I work off the premise. If I can make you smirk a little bit while I'm telling the joke, and I ain't get to the punchline yet, and you lean forward, you're like, man, this dude's stupid.
Yeah, I got you.
You stupid come way before the punchline.
You good for that, though.
This dude's stupid as hell. You lean forward like, yo, what are you gonna say? you know where he going, but he ain't get there yet.
Yeah.
And that's what, you know what I mean? When people come to see you, my wife always says it to me. My wife, Shah, she always says this. Even though I've done this 1,000 times, she always says, don't forget, they're here to see you.
Yeah.
And that's, and we always say this little term, don't forget to show your ass. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that applies to anything.
Right.
Don't forget to show your ass, Melo.
Be
When you're in
great.
that court, wear the ass out. And look, my thing is always this too. You can always pull back, hard to turn up.
Mm.
You can always pull back. You wilding out there, yo man, you shooting too much,
Yeah,
Melo.
dial it back.
Right.
Yeah. I can
Everybody know how to turn back.
adapt. I can
You
adapt.
tell somebody ass, you go crazy. Yo man,
You gotta shoot more.
more. You start shooting all kind of shit. Half court, you don't give a fuck. Like, oh, whoa, it's too much.
Oh,
now you
man.
done turned up too much.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But you
yeah,
see
You're not
that.
doing- yeah.
You see that in games. Like
Of
you see
course.
that in.
Oh man, you tell somebody, it's just, man,
Yeah. They don't
they
comprehend
don't know
what
how
you trying to say.
understand what
Yeah.
they don't comprehend it the right way.
Mm.
And you gotta, look, man, everything is a spoonful at a time. You know, you gotta, and that's what comedy is too.
Yeah.
Comedy is literally, you know, I like to be on fire, and I like to ride that wave, man. And but I have little moments where I'm just sitting on the chair. I'll sit in the chair for 15 minutes until a bit, but I'm still being visual. I'm still having mannerisms.
Mm.
And
You just did that over there before the show.
Yeah.
You was on like that.
yeah, man.
He got his hat on.
Right, I just took a little break. But we don't know. But that's the thing. Every audience is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like every game is different. Some nights, man, somebody else is hot. You're like, yo, look at you tonight. Boy,
Mm-hmm.
stay hot, baby. Let's get this game over with.
JB, I'm glad you said that because
Comedy the
last
same
night,
way.
comedy's the same way.
Same way, man. Every
know-
night, it's a different audience.
Yeah.
I've done 5 shows in one city. Every single audience wanted to hear something different.
Yeah.
You would figure it's the same city. They're going to love the same thing. No. These people, this audience right here was for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And you're allowed to do what you do, but in different forms of it. And you know, comedians talk a lot, but we also got to listen to what this particular audience is laughing at tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Is it my cadence? Is it my physicality? Is it my, you know, what is it that this audience loves tonight? This particular audience. And you just got to keep giving it to them. They want to hear this style tonight.
Mm.
And it's still you. You're just giving them based on what you're hearing back.
But how do you adapt? You adapt to that on the go, or you already
No,
practicing
you
that?
can't. You don't know till you get on stage.
Mm.
You don't know till you get on stage. Once you get on stage, and you hear what they laughing at, and you say, "Oh, I just did this. All I did was this right here.
Yeah, I ain't even do. I scratched
All I
my
did was
head.
this right here. People wild as hell. All I did was this, and then people laughing their ass off. So you keep going through that shit. Whoa!
That's the Eddie
You keep giving them something.
That's
Eddie
it. That's
Murphy
it.
point right
Give-
there.
give him
That's a counter
And you say,
move, right?
This is what y'all want to hear tonight.
Yeah.
This audience wants to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Or when they used to call me the milkman back in the day on stage because I used to milk that. Man,
Yeah.
I could milk a joke for 15 minutes on one topic easily.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I waste a whole show on one topic.
Those are
one
those
night.
those Def Comedy Jam bits that, you know what I mean, that, you can still go watch those on YouTube right now. Well, he'll just stay and just...
And that's TV
Just when
long.
you think the crowd can't get any more
Yeah.
laughing
But is that
crazy.
because you? I mean, I know you feed off the crowd, but when
Yeah.
you feel the crowd go there and you got them there,
Man,
you got to keep them there.
yeah, my it's like
How do you keep them there?
if you can see into my head, you'll see gears turning.
Mhm.
And the more they laugh,
Yeah.
the more I'm just milking. I'm thinking, like, it just comes to me. Stuff comes to me, man. I'm blessed to be able to like listen and just keep my brain I write on stage. So writing on stage, it's like a rapper who doesn't write his raps down.
Mhm.
Mm.
You know, I got the concept, but a lot of times I don't know where I'm gonna go at it,
Mm.
where I'm gonna go with it yet.
Yeah.
So I'll write on stage in my head while I'm doing it, but that becomes bullet points.
Mhm.
It doesn't become a written out joke. It's just
Right.
bullet points to where I'm going. This happened. But and then this happens, and then what if this happens?
Mhm.
So in threes. And I do everything in threes.
Okay. It's
So
like having
everything
to
should have 1, 2, 3.
Mhm.
This happened, but what if this happened? But then what if this happens?
Good,
You know?
better, best.
If you do three is a good round number to work with when you're building something. on stage because you're tap, tap, tap. It's a rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
Pow, 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 pow. It's like boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, 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 uppercut.
Mm-hmm.
That's the rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Tyson combo.
Mm-hmm.
It's like having a good counter move.
Oh man, it's
Yeah.
like Tyson combo, man.
Nice.
Weave, bam, body, boom.
Mm.
If you can think about it like that, that's the only way I can think about the rhythm of what laughter, the rhythm of laughter is. I did a show one night in Chicago. Man, back in the days, man, I'm telling you something. I don't think these like younger comics understand the road that's been paved in all reality. Me and Joe Torre were talking at what's it, Bill Bellamy's birthday party or Bobby Brown's birthday party, one of those. And we just stood there talking. And we were talking about this, man. I don't think anybody understands the road that's been paved already for what is obtainable now, what we can do now.
Yeah.
Of course, we're going to keep progressing, into different forms of what we do. But man, years ago, man, this was different. We talked about Def Comedy Jam and the BETs and all that stuff, man. Touring around the country, doing all these damn clubs, tours that were 20 dates long in one trip. Like like a week.
Yeah.
You would do like 10 cities. You would bounce, and doing a show every night. You drive next city. And man, I remember I was in Chicago one night. This is what I mean by you don't know what people want. And I was on stage, man, and when I'm in a zone, it's kind of like,
Yeah.
I'm hard to beat.
Yeah.
And that's any comic. When you're in a zone, it's not that you're in competition, but you have to create this thing that allows the show to be unique. I'm never competing with other comedians I'm working with. It's always about the people.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the people. It's all about us doing something unique and giving something to people. That's why I've always if I'm on a show and I feel like the comics or comics I'm working with are making it a competition, it's weird for me. You know what I mean?
But at the same time, though, the comparison you made of that boxing combo and the uppercut,
yeah.
somebody's got to follow that sometimes,
So
unless you're the headliner.
That's what I mean. You feed,
Mm-hmm.
you're feeding the climate and the show.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You're feeding it. And it's all about us making sure these people are happy and they leave here retelling these damn jokes, man. What I was saying was I was on stage one night and this dude stood up in the back row in Chicago. He said, "Get that motherfucker off stage before he kills somebody." I'll never get that shit, man. He had a fur coat on and shit and a big ass hat. He stood up, he said, hey, get this motherfucker off stage.
Motherfucker.
Before he kills somebody. And then that became the fun part of the night because people were dying.
Yeah.
And that keeps people in the mood. And man, just really, boxing is the sweet science, but there's really something to, and I think they'll figure it out. Like, I think when people look back on comedy in the future, and, we don't know where comedy's going to be at. Comedy could be outlawed in the future. Comedy could be like prohibition. It could go away because someone said, nothing you're saying is something we need.
Right.
Somebody could easily say that. And it could literally be in a dark club in a basement somewhere, like these books they're trying to get rid of.
Like an underground sport or something.
You know what I mean? It could be, who's to say what could happen if someone says, no more of this.
Yeah.
You don't want your version of the world. You're going too far with what you're saying. Like I love Dave. Dave be hitting hard. Dave Chappelle hits hard, man. But you can't help but go, that was pretty good, man. I know it's hard, but that shit was good. He hits you like that. You're like, ooh.
He make you think.
Man, that's
He make
smart.
you think.
But it's smart.
Yeah.
And sometimes too smart is too much
Yeah,
for
because
people, man.
Dave's got a bravery to his comedy too, where it's like
Man,
he's gonna open that door that people don't want to talk about, but he's also gonna say it in a way that makes you at least think about it, even if you don't agree with what he's saying.
But he also hit rock bottom though, right? So when he hit rock bottom,
Yeah.
right? When he left and made that decision, like when he came back, he was totally different.
Yeah.
Like his whole aura, his mind, the shit that he started.
I think he was better.
He was sharper. He was sharper.
I love Chappelle
He was
show, but when he
sharper.
came back, he had like his style of comedy became so refined.
Yeah,
like,
he was
storytelling-wise.
super sharp. It was almost like when Malcolm took Hodge and went over, and they came back, and he was just super sharp.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Chappelle had that type of aura when he came back.
He did. He saw it. He saw what he was doing in a different way. But he also ended up now controlling his own destiny. He owned him. He owns him.
Mm-hmm.
He owns what he does and who he is. That show can't define that.
No.
It couldn't define that.
Yeah, yeah.
He owns himself. He's his own franchise. He's what he built this. So he got a chance to do that in the way he wanted to do it.
He put the work in.
Sometimes they get handcuffed sometimes.
Yeah.
You know?
It's wild 'cause
intentionally or unintentionally. Sometimes we get,
like Melo said, we look at it as him hitting rock bottom, but like when you really think about leaving Chappelle's show and what he got offered, like $100 million, however much money he got offered, to still essentially be creating for another brand, another company, whereas he goes away for a while, he comes back on his own rules, his own terms, and they're like, yo, whatever you want.
Man, look.
I mean, you stood on it.
Yeah.
I made this decision. I'm gonna stand on this. If y'all don't agree, y'all don't agree. I don't have time to explain to y'all.
That's why I never think comedy would be outlawed, because the people who stand on it usually end up being right in the long run.
But he's also very purposeful on what he's saying. And he's very intentional on the topics that he actually want to speak on and actually touches on. Like now you got to really think about the shit that he said on that stage.
Dope, man. And and to see someone's movement in different forms, these are little turn of the screws adjustments. It's a little turn of the screw, but it's an adjustment.
Yeah.
And we all have to adjust here and there, whether it's our personal, whether it's our professional careers. But we are still a product of our road we traveled and how people see us. I remember Dave and us, it was like 6 of us one night. We were in Bahamas. We had like 6 of us, five or 6 of us on the same show. Man, we was clowning. We clowned on the plane going there. Yo, 6 comedians on a plane.
Yeah, that's different.
Spread out. Man, we was talking back and forth to each other, standing up in our seat, talking to the front of the plane. Yo, it was out of control. Like, it was that fun of a trip. And man, we rented mopeds and rode around on mopeds on the island, man. We going to people. We ate at somebody's house, man. We ate at somebody's damn house, man.
Yeah.
We asked, where the best food at? Somebody said, I forgot her name. Was it Charlamagne's house? I said, oh, I bet that's a fly-ass restaurant. No, it's her house. I said, what? We went to somebody's house and ate at their table in their crib, yo.
Wow. Who house was it?
Charlamagne. You know Charlamagne? Charlamagne's house. I said, oh, we look it up. No, it's down there.
That's where it is.
It's her home. What? Somebody's house. We ate at somebody's house.
That's fire, though.
What was the dish?
That's fire.
I forgot what it was. All Caribbean stuff, like conch. What's that thing called? Conch?
Conch, I guess, yeah.
All that stuff,
Conch.
man. Yeah.
Okay.
All that stuff, man. She loaded it. Man, them place was loaded with food, man. And yo, this is how much fun we was having. We riding back. Dave always tells this story. We riding back. We riding the mopeds all day. We said, oh, yo, look what time it is. Yo, we gotta hurry up. We got a show to do. So we clowning. We pulled up in front of the place, the venue where we parked our mopeds, and I said, "Yo, watch this." I said, we all had helmets on and stuff, those straps. I said, "Yo, I'ma do my whole set with this fucking helmet on." The motherfucker said, "You crazy, yo? You stupid, man." I said, "Watch." He brought me to the stage. Yo, I had that goddamn moped helmet on and did a whole 20-minute set with that fucking helmet on. Man, Dave said, I'll never forget it. JB Smoove, that fucking helmet on. I reshaped every one of my jokes to fit me wearing the helmet. He said, oh, how the fuck you doing, JB? The fucking helmet on. So I say, you got to be in the moment with this shit, man. You got to be in the moment sometimes. But you also got to be a little fearless. You don't care about the repercussions of it. You don't care if it don't work,
Mhm.
but the only way you know it's gonna work, you gotta try it.
But you know what you do a lot though? Like even if I'm watching it and I don't think it works immediately, you milk it so much.
That you gonna like this shit.
I will will that shit.
You
I
gonna
will
like
Four
will
minutes
it.
into it, I'm like, he's
will
still
it.
going, and it's
I
hilarious.
will will that bit, man. I remember when I first wrote my I don't know if you ever seen me do the circus bit.
Yeah.
But I went to a cheap circus and it wasn't no animals, it was people dressed up as animals. And man, when I tell you that joke got written in one night because I just put every animal I could think of with a dude inside of it. Man, one dude came out with the top wrong and the bottom wrong. And he was like, yo, I got a llama top and a monkey bottom. And he said, I need the monkey top. And I ran backstage, I would run backstage like, man, it's something funny about breaking the rules of what people think stand-up is.
Yeah.
I've done it. Man, look, I go behind the curtain, do 10 minutes behind the curtain. As long as I'm painting that picture of what's going on,
You still got
behind
them
that curtain,
engaged.
you still there.
Yeah, that's your canvas.
You can't see it. You
Of
just
course.
hear what's happening. You hear a fake argument backstage. I'm playing two characters. You're like, yo, this dude behind the curtain. But I think that's what makes this fun. That's what makes every experience unique, in what comedians can do.
JB, we had a lot of great comedians on the show this season. We had Al Sadiq come on.
Yeah.
Shout out.
We had Lil Rel.
Shout out.
And I love talking to them about the state of black comedy because I love all types of comedy, obviously. But obviously, black comedy, especially from the OGs, from your generation to now, it's kind of a little bit, from what I see, like a little bit of a divide, right? Like as far as like growing up in the 90s, you would see like the Kings of Comedy together. You would see people going together on Def Jam tours, BET tours. Not to say that they don't, tour together and there's still sort of camaraderie and cliques between, black comics and whatnot. But I'd love to just hear your take on sort of what the state of it is right now, especially when it comes to being the elder statesman.
I think in some way, I don't think the word govern is the word, but I do think, that being someone who started, it's kind of like this. I got a chance to be a part of two different heydays. The heyday of hip hop and the heyday of the new black comedy movement. And that's coming from, see, you ask a younger person, they're going to name different people who, and I use this term because some people get confused by it. Like, some people are my contemporaries. So I can't put them on Mount Rushmore because they're my contemporary. I'm still working with them.
Right.
That's different.
That's your peer.
And I still have the ability to, who knows, I might take a spin and all of a sudden I'm in his pocket, but my ass gonna be on that Rushmore in someone else's mind. Who knows?
Yeah.
We all are still on our movement. So we all have the opportunity to become even better than we are now.
Right.
So that I have to respect who motivated me to do this job. I gotta respect that. So, and we have to set examples of how this is supposed to proceed. Like myself, I don't have the time or the patience to force comedians or anybody to like what I do or like me. And if you waste time, you're spinning wheels, wasting your own,
Energy.
and your movement is stagnant because you're sitting there having arguments with people who do exactly what you do, which is make people happy. Once you put that to the side, you lose. You're putting aside what you really do and what you're giving people. You're putting that to the side for beef, for stuff that they ain't gonna matter. It ain't gonna matter later on in life when you're fucking 75, 80 years old laying in a bed somewhere, not being able to do what you normally would do. Your mind is delicate. Your brain is delicate, man. We can't waste time spinning wheels on stuff we can't use.
Yeah.
It's not something you're gonna be able to use again. And look, and I say this, I'm not saying any names, but I've known comedians who really get stuck on stuff that ain't gonna really matter no more. we all trying to get on TV. We all trying to get on film. When you're in that movie, you can't do none of them jokes.
Mm-hmm.
You can do your persona, your character, but you can't do those jokes that you did 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's over for that, you know? And we all have, look, people are sensitive to certain things. But I say, look, I've been around comics who've argued. Man, I've seen them live, and I just don't have it, man. I don't have that bone in my body because I just create every day in my brain. I create, you know? And look, if someone can do it better than me, take it. If you can do that bit better than what I just did, take it.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like I might even help you write it, but talk to me.
Yeah.
You know, talk to me.
I feel like that's the biggest.
It's never going to be something I'm going to outwardly say to people who don't understand it completely what we do.
Right,
but
so
I can talk to you about it because we do the same thing.
Yeah.
And I can put you to the side and be like, yo, look, man, we gotta keep focused here. Stay focused with what the fuck we do. Once people realize it's anarchy and we ain't really what we generate on stage to people, and they see that other side of us, it becomes like, damn, I didn't know he was like that.
Yeah.
They see you differently.
Yeah.
And it kind of kills.
Fans,
You kind of kills.
in this day and
the
age,
joint.
you gain people and lose people at the same time.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
It is. It
You look
is.
at the comments, they be like, oh man, I used to love this dude.
Right.
Oh man, I love what he said. But you're bringing one person down while you bring one up.
Mm-hmm.
And then switch it over. You bring this dude down while you bring another one up. It's like, so you're always right here.
It's divisive, but at the same time, you mentioned something that I think is like the ultimate sin of a comedian, which is like stealing jokes, right? So it's like, clearly you don't want comedians to beef with each other because in the grand scheme of things, it don't matter. But like you said, if somebody's doing a bit that you did or, you know, stole a joke of yours and they didn't even try to consult you or something like that, that's legitimately taking food out of somebody's mouth. You know, is that not the time to be like, yo, I can't mess with this guy.
I ain't gonna lie, I've had
What's the line, George?
Yeah. What's the line there?
hundreds of bits stolen.
Mm-hmm.
Hundreds. I mean, I used to leave town and people would call me, yo, man, your man up here doing all your shit. I'd be like, damn, you know what I mean? But those are people who are not in it for the right reason. They ain't in it to grow. That right there is you trying to maintain what you have done. That's not growth. You're trying to maintain something. So you're always going to be right here because you're trying to maintain a level.
Right.
That's that half glass full, half glass empty theory. You're maintaining what you do. You don't want to drop down because people are going to be like, oh, yeah, he's just all right.
Yeah.
You want to stay here, and sometimes staying here means I got to find something that's working, and I got to do that. Or I got to try to, you know, just to stay here. But to go here, you got to be familiar with what you're doing, and you got to have your golf swing. You know what I mean? And believe me, man, I've had stumbles. I've had all this stuff, but anything I stumble on, I would definitely always know what I did, and I would definitely, you know, learn from that.
Yeah.
And I'm never done. I'm never done, man. I will never claim to be the best at anything. I will always say, I just want to do what I love to do, and I always just want to make people happy, man. And I also want to have a good relationship with people I know.
Right.
And I'm rooting for everybody. I want everybody to win. And like you say, in this stand-up climate, it's not easy, and it's all a part of anything. Look, man, I can't even classify it just as stand-up. People steal, advertising agents steal ideas.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right,
You know what I mean? Of my bits I've seen in commercials.
Yeah.
Or it could be anything, one line or just a concept. Advertising people got to cheat too.
Yeah.
The ad world is very ruthless, I promise you. They will steal a line, a bit, anything for a commercial. And you don't get a dime. You don't get a dime of that money. You can say, hey, man, that was my hot tub joke. You know what I mean? I'm telling you. No, I seen one.
And not for nothing.
I was like, yo, really? You gonna put a lobster in the hot tub? I did that 5 years ago. I did, you know what I mean? No, it happens.
Yeah.
It's just, here's what it is. The world is moving so fast now. Don't forget now, we're in technology.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget now, more people see stuff. People see everything now.
Yeah.
Everything is more accessible. It's more visual. You see everything nowadays. Everybody can touch you. Everybody can, look, we're in a world where everybody can say something crazy about you one time.
Yep.
And you block their ass. But they already said it.
Yeah.
And that's with anything. You know what I mean? Sometimes people see it as a compliment. And sometimes people see it as stealing.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a very, and this doesn't happen to, I'm sure it happens to poets. I'm sure someone has.
All the time. That's why they have
rappers.
plagiarism.
Yeah. I'm sure it happens to
why.
everybody. But it is truly, definitely a conversation that you have to, but your integrity is something that you ride with for the rest of your life. Your integrity can go a long way. It's how people see you, and it's how your colleagues see you.
That's the most important thing.
When you walk in the room, they be like, yo, my dude. They give you a big hug and mean it. Or like, yo, what up?
Yeah.
What up?
Yeah.
I know he's on the show.
Yeah. I didn't know you was on this show.
You know what I mean?
I know that
Or
is.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, man.
Some cold
But
energy.
you just gotta have, you just gotta find a way to respect what we do. We gotta find a way to respect each other for what we do. And there is an issue. But like I said, it depends what you do with it. If you want everybody to know what's going on, people do that. Some people don't do that. They'll say, yo, moving forward, please, man, you know what? That's my bit. Let's move forward. But if you need everybody's cosign on what it is, it becomes bigger than life. And some people need that. They need to confirm that this is what happened. And we are in that day and age now where we want to hear what people think about what the issue is. And that feeds it. It keeps feeding it and feeding it and feeding it into something that is forever.
Okay. All right.
Internet is forever. Nothing gets erased. Everything, that's forever.
In fairness.
If you change your mind,
yeah.
you can't
Still
change
forever.
that.
Yeah.
You can't change that. If you
can't.
change your mind, y'all become friends, you still can't change that.
Yeah.
So you got to think about that. What you say, and I say, what's that term? You are what you eat. And you are what you eat is not about food. It's your hearing, it's your sight, and it's all these things you're consuming every day.
That's real.
Yeah, man,
that's real. I mean, only one way to transition from that, man. I mean, that was a great.
We're going deep over here.
Yeah, it is. And on top of that, you know what? The great thing about JB is that it's hard to do JB. There's only one of you.
Yeah, that's
right. Like you are so unique as a talent.
Damn, man.
And the people you've worked with over the years, like I think that's what makes you stand out. One of those dudes you've worked with over the years is Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Real Husbands of Hollywood. You've collaborated with that with Nick Cannon, Dwayne Martin.
Yeah, man.
And Robin Thicke, a bunch of hilarious guys over there. That was it was a spoof of a. It was a spoof of a show that was already popular. That the first time I saw it, I thought it was gonna be a real show. What was some of the more funniest moments that happened on that show? When it was like a reality, not real reality show.
The BTS
reality show, man. That show was so unique. I remember when Chris Spencer called me. I was in Miami, man. Me and my wife was in this car service going to a show. He said, "Man, I got something for you. We're doing this show, Real Husbands of Hollywood." I said, "What?" I'll never forget he called me about that show. I said, "Man," he said, "You in?" I said, "Yeah, man, let's do it."
Yeah.
And he named everybody who's going to be in it. And I said, "Yo, it's crazy. It's a fake reality show." I said, "Yo, that's crazy." And all those dudes, man, to get a chance to work with Kevin and Nick and Robin Thicke and Nelly, Dwayne, Boris, who else is on the show, man? I'm missing somebody. But man, to have an opportunity to work on that damn show was so fun, man. Because you gotta realize, and
you're playing yourself.
This is the fun. Yeah, we're playing ourselves. So, and I say that because being somebody who has been blessed to be able to work on both sides, on on straight white shows
Mhm.
and straight ass black shows. I've been able to do that, and that's what I'm talking about.
That's hard
That's
to
what
do.
I mean
That's
by
hard to do.
it's hard to do,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm talking about when I say professionalism and how you show up, and you're not negating what each one does for you, but you have a certain unique voice that allows you to do both.
Yeah.
Right? And there's nothing wrong with that. And I've got a chance to work on black shows and white shows, and and that's a plus. That show allowed the BET viewers to see something unique, and something fun. You know how hard it is to get 7 guys together?
Yeah.
Especially at that caliber. on one show.
And get a great director, great producers, great writers, and able to let everybody shine and everybody be unique. We were the goddamn Avengers.
Yeah.
And got it right, though. Y'all got
it right.
Y'all got
We
it
the
right.
Avengers, man, basically. And we got a chance to really have some fun on that show, man. And man, when I tell you those moments, there's stuff, man, look, it's different because what made it really work is we were all not comedians. But our personalities were fed,
Mm-hmm.
and because our personalities were fed, we were allowed to be funny.
Yeah.
And who we really are, a unique, turned up version of who we are, but a controlled turned up.
Yeah.
I'm meant to go crazy in this episode, you know what I mean, or whatever it is. But you're allowed to be you. But those writers were so talented; they got a way of taking Robin Thicke and making him funny.
Right,
Taking
right.
Nelly, who's not a comedian, making him, he's already, a great personality.
Right.
But how we make him funny, turn it up even more and let them do what they do.
And put him in funny situations.
Man, we had so many crazy episodes, man.
Yeah.
Good gracious, man.
Situa-
That goddamn Kevin was a mess. but it was all, it's all planned in how it's done. Because, Kevin and I have a unique beef on the show that really comes across really stupid and funny.
Yeah.
And it really worked. It worked, man. It really worked. And, everybody, I'm trying to think of some great episodes, man. Oh, we had so many good episodes, man.
There was a ton, but
Oh.
even in addition to the great
Yeah.
episodes, man, like you've mentioned it, right? Doing straight white shows, doing straight black shows. The contrast
Yeah.
between Curb Your Enthusiasm being like an extremely popular,
Yeah.
successful HBO show, and then Def Comedy Jam, Real Husbands of Hollywood, like having those
Yeah.
audiences like that. Obviously, the playoff between you and Larry David is the stuff of legend. You know what I mean?
Man.
Like, and it always seemed like a lot of it was very improvised. You know what I mean? The way you guys would go back and forth.
The show is a complete improvised show.
Mhm.
There are no lines. There's no dialogue. All you got is the outline. And the outline is just the episode.
Mhm.
And you create your own storyline. You create everything you say is basically off the dome,
Yeah.
which is basically what the audition process was. And also that's exactly what happens on the show.
Right.
Even when we're doing blocking means lining the shot up,
Yeah.
and it's like a fake rehearsal just for the cameras. Even then, we don't say lines. We go blah, 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 Larry. And we don't say lines. Because Larry does not
Blah,
want to
blah,
know.
blah, 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 Larry.
He does not want
He
to know
doesn't
what
want
you're
to know.
going to say.
Yeah.
Because it ruins it. And man, I tell you, and it goes back to that, you go as far as you can go and allow them to pull you back.
Yeah. Right.
Man, when I tell you.
And I'm sure you're trying to break each other too, like while you're on set.
I told Larry, I said, I got a stand-up rhythm. I said, man, I'm looking at Larry ass, man. And I'm basically, and I see that lip twitch a little bit. I know I got his ass. I got him on his heels.
Is that his give that he's trying not to break?
He goes like, do that shit. I said, I got your ass on. And when you figure that shit out, I change it up. I do a whole different one.
Yeah.
So there's like 10 different versions of every scene. I just keep changing that shit on his ass. But here's a thing that's unique. Even though the show is improvised, as far as where I want to go, I decide in the moment if I want to have his back or go against him.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no, oh, you got his back automatically. No. I'm choosing.
It's like
if
Mad
I
Libs.
want to say
Yeah.
that's fucked up, Larry, or if I want to say, yo, that's fucked up, I like it. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, I choose in the moment right there before they say action if I'm gonna have his back or I'm gonna go against him. But that determines the scene. That's that hard left. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I like you make that hard left on me. You know what I mean?
What's the hardest left you've ever taken on set where it's like it went so hard?
Oh man,
that next scene had to be like something that wasn't even.
Getting that ass was probably the greatest one ever. Getting that ass, Larry. Larry, no, it's so funny.
Oh, part of left.
Larry never heard the term "getting that ass,"
See,
and I knew the first take he was like this. He didn't know what the fuck getting that ass was. After they said cut, he said, what's getting that ass? I said, what? You never heard getting that ass? What? And man, I had to explain to him what getting that ass meant. He said, oh, he said, really? He's so fascinated by things. Really? And man, getting that ass was one of those terms, man. And that's our first big scene.
Yeah.
That's our first big scene we shot. That's our first day of shooting.
Wow.
Getting that ass was that episode.
Wow.
And man, when I tell you I hit him with that.
Sound crazy.
They're killing me with that.
That joint and the stained blanket was another one.
The stained blanket was funny as
Funny as
shit.
hell.
Yes, it was.
That was up. And literally, look, I always say you meet people before you meet them sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And being a fan of the show and me saying I want to be on that show one day and my wife telling me I'm going to be on that show one day, that became like you throw it to the universe.
Yeah.
And look, man, I don't know how it works, but everything I say I'm going to do happens. You know, I said a long time ago, man, I was watching the Chris Rock show. I said, I'm gonna be on this show one day as a stand-up. And next thing you know, I did sketches on the show and I went to LA. My first week in LA, I'm doing stand-up at the Comedy Store. And I think Chris, Eddie, and somebody else was together in one booth at the show. And literally after the show, the next day, my agent was like, yo, Chris called. He said, we want you to do stand-up on the show, on the Chris Rock show. I said, what? And he's only done like maybe three people ever had done stand-up on the Chris Rock show. When I said, I want to be on SNL one day, audition for SNL, ended up coming in. I made it to the last three people. Keenan and Finesse made it. And Lauren Michaels called me and said, we love what you did, but we picked Finesse and Keenan. Would you like to come in as a writer, JB? We'd love to have you. I said, yeah, I'll come in as a fucking writer. Shit. But I figure I'm going to get in there like a fucking Trojan horse.
Right.
I'm going to get in that bitch. You know,
That's my way. That's your way in.
I'm going to get in that bitch. I'm going to shake that shit up. I'm going to shake that shit up when I get there. I got to that motherfucker, man. I gave everybody nicknames and shit. I'm walking around the office and shit, fucking with people. And man, literally, you know, I got a chance to write on the show, do warm-up on the show, do I did Conan O'Brien downstairs like 9 times on camera. I got a chance, and that's 4 checks outside of my writing check. That's that New York hustle right there.
Talk to him.
And the same thing goes for Curb, and the same thing goes for Spider-Man Far From Home. I did a freaking commercial with Tom Holland for the Audi commercial because that's the car brand that was in the movie. And next thing you know, they called me to be in Spider-Man Far From Home. So I think everything is how you show up initially. How you show up determines everything with your movement. And I just like to show the fuck up and I'll give you what you want. But at the same time, I'm going to be comfortable doing what I do. But I can give you exactly what you want, you know. And when you say, okay, I got what I need, but the next few takes are yours. When they tell me that shit, man, let me tell you something, boy.
It's go time.
I felt like, oh, here we go, goddammit.
Like it's getting the ISO.
I'm going to do what I want. He said, this is mine.
I got a play coming to me.
When they say that shit, next three is yours, I'm like, yo, I'm about to go off on these fools in this scene. But that is, that's the same thing with everything. You know, everything feeds itself, man. And I think you do what you do best when you're allowed to do what you actually do.
Yeah.
And then it's consistent. You know, I don't even go on auditions no more because, you know, this is what happens sometimes when you show up and you create something based on who you are. Friends will send me like a screenshot of like a script, and it'll say, Jeffrey walks in the room, think JB Smoove.
Mm.
You know what I mean? When you make it to that means what you do is something that works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It means it works.
It's kind of like template for
Yeah,
other people,
it works. That means that there's a rhythm to it that they need for that scene. And they don't want you to come and ask me, they want you to think.
Mm.
Think the energy of a JB Smoove when you walk in the room, a type of person. You know, not based on something I've done on other TV shows, but think about that as a person, you know, speaking directly, projecting all these little things, cadence and all these little things that happen to be something you can learn. You know, whether you get it from me or you get it from an acting coach. It doesn't matter. It's what you do with it. You know what I mean? It should motivate you.
Yeah.
And that's when we talk about jokes. Sometimes you don't need the jokes. You just need to know how to do the joke.
Mm.
See? It's that old, I'm teaching you how to fish rather than feeding your ass. That's what that is. You see that, you know, I remember back when I started Uptown Comedy Club, you know, we had these workshops we would do on a Monday or Tuesday, whatever it was, as part of the club. And man, we would sit there and we wrote down 10 different things. I don't remember all 10 of them, but some of them were things I actually did in my stand-up. Fiery intro, certain amount of laughs per minute, you know, cadence, energy, pink pictures, all these things. And the 10th one was like end on a good note. And leave them something.
Send them home happy.
Send them home happy. Give them something. And that was the 10. And I'm gonna find that notebook, my old notebook, but it's written in my old notebook on the first page. It's written on the first page on the actual hard part.
Yeah.
And I wrote it down. I said, I'm gonna remember this right here. And that's the thing that a joke can't do. Jokes they do have a shelf life. You can't do that joke forever. Even when you steal it, you stole it in the moment.
Right.
Or is it something that's gonna make you a superstar? Probably not.
So, a great segue because we talk about the moment.
Yeah.
So here's we have a special segment on this show called the 7 p.m. moment where
Give it to me.
you know it you gotta chill. It refers to that fork in the road moment where we're going this way or that way. We're kind of send you down a very specific path. So you have to be locked in about what you decide to do. We're very curious, like to know like what was that 7 p.m. moment for you that you felt like I gotta make a decision right now, either go left or even go right.
I'm stubborn. And I'm one of these guys that honestly can take failure, take success, and actually accept how I did it and how can I, but because I'm not afraid to fail, it kind of sets me up in a different way. I feel like sometimes I will, my body will take over and say, man, you know damn well you don't want to be here.
Yeah.
What the fuck you doing this dumb shit for? Or why you doing this period? If I sometimes I second, third, and fourth guess and fifth guess myself, which is crazy. So I've literally taken things that I know damn well I didn't want to do. And
like
I do
gigs,
it.
like work?
Yeah, and I will literally be in the moment with it and say, it's like my a version of me steps out of my body and says, "Man, told your ass you didn't want to do this shit. You know you didn't want to do this bullshit.
Do you want to give me an example?
Why you fucking doing this dumb shit?"
Do you have an example? Of
I've been on tour with people that I've been on tour with people that I said, I know this ain't my thing.
Right.
This ain't my thing.
And
I'm so used to doing my own thing that I feel like I'd rather do my own thing and I control what it is.
Yeah.
But if I'm on I'm not, and another thing, I'm not good at doing 10, 15 minutes. I've never been a 15-minute comic. That's why I'm not good. You know, in my first started, I was. You know, the Comedy Jam, of course, BET, of course, but I'm still not that guy. Even I've done it, but I'm not that guy. I'm a milker. I'm an improviser. I take anything. I take the microphone stand and make that part of a joke, the stool, the chair. All that shit becomes a world on stage that I can only do in an hour and a half on stage. But I've done things where I feel like, damn, I've had to make decisions where I turn down more stuff than I take because I know I'm not going to show up for you. And if you're a director doing some shit or you have a show, it's disrespectful on my part to show up and half-ass it just to be doing the shit.
What was that moment, though? What was that moment like that you felt like, I got to take advantage of this right here? Because if I don't, then I'm going backwards. But if I take this moment, this is going to propel maybe my career. This is going to propel.
I'm going to tell you what I did. Now, this is something I tell people all the time. I literally cleaned house, knowing the outcome beforehand. I was at SNL, right? I did 3 seasons. You know, after I did my 3rd season, I said, you know what? I ain't getting the attention I need from my fucking agent. I fired every fucking body. And my agent he actually handled a lot of people on the show, on SNL. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna bet on myself. I'm gonna bet on fucking me. And I fired every fucking body. And I fired everybody knowing that that agent who handled a lot of people on the show would not be available to speak up for me. Meaning, I knew I wasn't going to make it back for the 4th season because I didn't have anybody to speak for me. Agent's job is to keep you on a show and keep you working so they can get paid off of you. And this is what you got to be willing to do, is sacrifice some shit, knowing what you do, having confidence who the fuck you are. I fired every fucking body. And lo and behold, always say, something got to get the fuck out the way for something to come in.
Right.
So I got rid of every fucking body. And I said, I'm just waiting for the ball to drop. And I knew, next thing you know, a month later, got that call, oh, we're not going to be bringing you back. I said, I fucking knew that.
Yeah.
But I was ready for whatever was coming next. I was ready for that shit.
Yeah.
Signed with a new agent, got rid of all that old shit. Because sometimes you wear out your stay.
Yeah.
You wear out your stay.
Some things have an expiration date.
And
like,
sometimes you out-hustle the people who fucking work for you.
The ones who should be hustling.
That's what for you. And you outwork them.
What
I'm saying myself,
10% for?
I got to go. And I literally got rid of everybody. I cleared the fucking whole house. You know, I'm going to tell you 3 scenarios that happened at the same time. 1, I fired everybody. 2, I signed with a new agency. I fired my agency. I got with a new agency. We went on the road, did a show. My wife told me I was going to be on Curb Your Enthusiasm, right?
Wow.
My buddy, OG Pierce, who did This Is How We Do It, passes away, right? I'm on the road performing a show and literally got the phone call and had to come to LA for 1 day. So, and I say that because all this had to happen. Now, and it had to happen in that order. If the order changes, I miss the window to audition for Curb Your Enthusiasm. If I re-sign a contract and I'm on the 4th season of SNL, I would never even heard about Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And my wife didn't tell me I was going to be on the show. I wouldn't have had it in my brain. If my buddy didn't pass away at that particular day, that particular time where I had to come to LA for 1 day, I would have missed the window too. If he had died 2 days earlier or 2 days later or didn't die at all, rest in peace, OG. If all that is out of order, I am not on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Indeed.
I am not. So choosing yourself, choosing how you move, being consistent in who you are and what you believe in about yourself, that feeds everything else. Even if, look, Some shit comes in a moment. Or somehow you gotta throw that boomerang into outer space, and boomerang gonna come back, because that shit just does that.
Mhm.
But when it comes back is when
Right.
it comes back, depending on how hard you threw that shit. So I just have to wait and see what happens. But even if it wasn't that, it would have been something.
Mhm.
Because my intention was, let me change gears and let me drive this motherfucking car. Let me drive this car for a little bit. You know, some people are good passengers.
Yeah.
They are excellent passengers.
Don't nobody know you better than you.
Nobody know you better than you, man.
Mhm.
I just want to slide over. Let's change seats. Let me drive this bitch for a little while
Mhm.
and see where we're gonna go.
Mhm.
And I know how to drive this motherfucker.
Mhm.
Sometimes I gotta hold
'Cause
my
it's
foot.
my car.
Sometimes I know it's my car.
It's my car.
I know how fast this bitch go.
Yeah.
I know at a certain speed, the shit start rattling. I know. or I know and sometimes at the red light, I gotta hold my foot on the gas and the brake at the same time, but the bitch don't cut off. You gotta know that about your car. Your car is you.
man.
Your fucking vehicle you are driving is you. So I say this too. Stand up. Look, stand up is great if you want to do stand up for the rest of your life, but stand up really is a vehicle to get other places. That's all stand up is. And that's why I tell people, those jokes don't mean shit. Yo, that's just a vehicle. Who they see on that stage, your take on things, who you are, how you just embody and people love you is what people look at when they're trying to promote a movie, when they're trying to put somebody on a TV show. They don't look at them damn jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Them jokes ain't shit. Them jokes ain't nothing. Those shits are disposable. But who you are behind that shit is
Don't
what gets
change.
you movies, TV, commercials, all that stuff. And that's what people got to understand is you are feeding something, and you cannot be afraid to believe in what the fuck you do. And I just wholeheartedly, I'm a fan of JB. I'm a fan of JB Smoove. But I do like Leon. I do like Mr. Dell from damn Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know? I like that version of that accelerated version of JB on Real Hustlers in Hollywood.
Right.
Mhm.
That motherfucker out of control. When that motherfucker ate that butter, I laugh at that shit. And I'm me.
This nigga talking like he ain't even here.
You know what I mean? I gotta say, that day, those motherfuckers fed me so good that they let me do that. And I saw Kevin doing this, and he didn't say it, but in his mind, he saw me pick the butter up, and I saw his brain say, JB,
You about to
you
eat
eat that butter.
Oh, do it, yeah.
I'm gonna fucking lose it on camera. He said, JB, and that little lip stopped moving, and I grabbed that butter inside this, and I ate that butter. Yo, man, that killed the whole. That episode was so dope. The cinnamon challenge.
Yeah.
We did the cinnamon challenge bit, man, and that's what the show was. It took all the things that was on the internet, and we just exploded and we did it on the show.
Yeah.
So when we had that cinnamon challenge, and Boris was like, "Don't do it, JB. Come on, man. I eat fried cinnamon buns every day. You know what I mean? Fill it up." And said, "Put that fucking cinnamon on that big spoon.
Oh, no.
Give me a big ass spoon."
Famous last words.
And I ate that shit. And all this was improvised. I ate that shit. So I went on the ground, went down, banged on the ground, and walked my ass into that pool. Man, look, the camera dude was like, "Fuck it." He going in the pool. And I dove in the pool to relieve myself of that fucking cinnamon challenge shit. Yeah, look.
But you went for the cinnamon to
I
the
went for
chlorine, though.
I got my outfit, my wardrobe wet and everything, but they caught it on
the bit
camera and
worked.
said, "Yo, keep shooting, keep going,
He
keep shooting."
He swallowed
Keep one
chlorine
shot.
and all
I was about
types
to
of
say,
shit.
You only get one time to get wet.
Like, hey, man, we got to get that one again.
No, that was one shot, man. I said, "Yo," I told him, I said, "Yo, cameraman, be ready. I got an idea. Just follow me." I just told him that. And I didn't know what I was going to do it or how I was going to do it. But that, to me, that's what the fuck we do as comedians, man. We take who we are. We become who we are before we become comedians.
Mm.
So whatever's behind those jokes is what people want. So I say, man, just anybody out there, man, just do what the fuck. Just find some way to channel into you and let you attach to whatever you do. And that's to me, that's how movement is created.
Do what the fuck you want to
What the
do.
fuck you want to do, man? and take.
I feel like I can
Take
run
that.
through a wall after
the
listening to that.
fuck you wanna do,
man.
Hey, man, look.
what I'm talking
I've been
about.
doing this shit a long time, man. And when I say shit, I'm just really hoping that people are happy, man, and they get a chance to be all they can be, you know, and that's important to me.
Right.
Yeah, man.
JB, you said Real Husbands of Hollywood took a lot of stuff off the internet and just brought it to TV, brought it to real life. So I was really looking forward to having you on the episode specifically for this, because it is time for America's #1 segment, JB. We wrap each and every episode with a round of fuck with it or fuck out of here.
Woo!
This is where we react to a trending topic in the world of sports and pop culture, and then we ask you if A, we're fucking with it, or we are getting it the fuck out of here. JB, are you ready?
Let's go.
Melo, you ready?
Let's do it.
Let's get it. All right. Waymo, the self-driving car service, has been making its waves and becoming a mainstay in the West Coast with plans of expansion next year to the East Coast and beyond. I went to All-Star Weekend this year in the Bay Area. I saw all of them self-driving Waymo cars, and it freaked me the hell out. There have been some cases of the cars malfunctioning, like a passenger trying to make it to the airport and the car just driving in circles. So fellas, fuck with it or fuck out of here. Are we trusting these self-driving cars?
Nah, I fuck with trusted self-driving cars.
I fuck with it.
I'll fuck with it only if I can drive in the front seat, though.
I sit in front.
You have to
need to be able
experience
to-
it, though. You have to experience
gotta
it before you
see
not.
what's
But you have to
going on.
experience.
I'll try, but just seeing it, like I don't know. Have you seen them in action, like just
Yeah,
in California?
I seen them at a red light.
I
I'm sitting
drive
like, could I do
auto.
that?
I put my shit on autopilot.
Oh, I don't know. All right, you know, I fuck with it if it's not a long drive.
It can't be a long drive.
No,
can't be
bro,
a
listen,
long
those
drive.
are the
We drive
best.
across
They
country
the
in that
best.
Wait, so you've done it before? You've done a long
Yeah, I
Waymo
just
drive?
done it recently.
Recently.
Wow.
Where'd you
Yeah.
go? What was the trip like?
We was in DC. We was coming back from DC to New York on the highway. It turns
DC to New York is like 5 hours, 4 or 5 hours?
about 3.5.
Okay.
Can you get a P stop? Do you program that shit in your phone? Like,
Nah.
No, there's certain things that shit can't do.
But the minute that you fuck with the steering wheel, your hands move outside the sensor.
Yeah.
In the truck, in the cyber, you get a fucking like a
Message.
license. You get a ticket,
Oh.
and you get like 3-4 strikes.
Wow.
like a sanction.
Yeah, so you get a
I didn't know
sanction. So
that.
you get one sanction, and then you got 2 left in the sanction.
So
To where as though you can't use the autopilot ever again.
Oh.
Because they saying that you
They
doing
give
too
you
much
a-
shit, you're not really utilizing. But the autopilot shit is incredible.
Damn.
It made the left turns, it stay behind the car in the distance. If a car going too slow in front of you, it moves over.
Uh-huh.
It gets off on the exit
When does it speed up?
Nah,
Do you know?
when it's clear.
Okay.
So you gotta be.
You put your speed limit on it. It knows the speed limit, so it ain't gonna let you go past the speed limit. It knows the speed limit.
Human error, or let this computer drive your ass around. You know how many times you got in an Uber
Nah.
and the driver be talking too much?
I ain't-
You be like, I'm gonna motherfucker shut the fuck
Human
up.
error
Or you
is-
want to tell me shut the fuck up?
Human
But it's
error
on the
is
app though. It
crazy.
says, do you want conversation? Do you want the heat on? You know, they ask you shit in the
Yeah,
app.
that's a fact.
You should be able to put in that app, I wish you shut the fuck up. I wish you shut the fuck up right now. Don't tell me nothing else. And you put
Why
the
you
phone
don't do
away,
the-
put the
why
phone
you
back
don't do
away,
the
and he'll read
voiceovers,
that
though?
shit on the screen like, okay.
Why you don't do the VOs for the
Yeah, Uber got to
for
holler
the
at you
cars.
or something.
Yeah. they need to-
The AI voice, but hey.
I would love to do that shit, man. I fucking be over the fuck out
turn
of that
left,
shit.
motherfucker?
I wish you shut the fuck up. I just want you to shut the fuck up.
Oh, man.
And that
Why
you
you
know,
playing that bullshit?
Yeah, let that do. Man, sometimes those drivers be doing the fool, man. They be driving too fast, or they don't drive like you drive.
Yeah.
See, you can take the computer doing it,
Mhm.
but people don't drive like you drive.
Yeah.
While they driving you say, I don't know why this motherfucker ain't going around this dude.
Yeah.
Right? We said it in
That's
our
a
mind.
fact.
Yeah.
This motherfucker right here don't know what the fuck he going. You know what I mean? And you
But
just
the
be like,
autopilot does that.
Autopilot does what the fuck. They do it. They do it.
Okay.
But you got a human being there who don't do what you thinking he should do. You be like, this motherfucker can't drive for shit.
But there's just something about like, I just feel like I got bad luck. And I'll get in that one Waymo that either short circuits or traps you into the car, or like it says, you get to the airport and it's just driving in circles, and you gotta
nah.
you gotta barrel roll out that joint.
You gotta,
to, like,
you
get
gotta
out.
go where it's you can drive it and then you can switch it into autopilot.
Okay.
You ain't just getting around, nigga, drive you around all day. Just like a regular driver, he gonna get the car gonna get tired too.
Oh, okay. All right.
Get burned on. You leave a
it's an electric.
PlayStation on all day, Xbox. Shit get hot, overheat.
Shit hot.
Same shit. You got a car driving you around all fucking day.
But you said it was on for 4 hours though. That's a damn.
No, we didn't do the whole 4 hours.
Oh, okay. I was about to say
we didn't do the whole 4 hours. T fucked the shit up. You know what I mean? He got like 1 or 2 sanctions and shit. You know what I'm saying? So we couldn't do it. You know what I mean? But he was a beginner. He was just learning how. We were just learning how to fuck with it.
Yeah.
But I fuck with the cars though.
I fuck with it too, man.
All right, man. We fucking with it.
A lot of upside to it.
I guess we fucking with it, guys. Grizzlies superstar Ja Morant was seen on camera the other night on the bench, down 50 points, laughing while the Oklahoma City Thunder was busting that ass the other night in game 1 of their showdown. Fuck with it or fuck out of here. How do you feel about Ja Morant laughing down 50 in the playoff game?
I think that was let me see the context first. That's the screenshot.
That's the screen grab? All right, but here's my thing. Oh,
yeah, that's like a fuck you laugh. Like, all right, I see y'all niggas. I was like, all right, y'all got us. Like, it's like that. To me, that's what it seemed like. All right, we got y'all.
I gotta ask you,
oh,
man.
Word, that's what y'all doing now and then? That's how y'all feel? All right, bet.
I don't know if you've ever been down 50 in an NBA game, but like when you're down a lot in the game and you know you're not getting back,
you gotta laugh to keep from crying and keep from spazzing out.
Okay.
You can't, you gotta laugh. You gotta laugh this shit off. You gotta find something that catches your attention that you're able to laugh at to take your mind off going in the locker room and spazzing.
But you know you're going to have those fan bases that like, oh my God, look at this guy. We're down this many points and he's laughing.
Man, fuck all of that.
You got to be like this. If you're a fan, you want your favorite player if you're down by a bunch of points.
Yeah, but if you like that, then it's like, oh, you don't care. Like, look at him. He don't care. He's not showing. It's just a lose-lose situation.
Yeah.
That man was embarrassed, man. That's what that last an embarrassing laugh, an embarrassed laugh. You down 50, game 1 of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Nah. That's an embarrassed laugh right there.
I think there's a different kind of different kind of laughs. You know,
different kind of laughs.
You would know.
You would know, champ. You would know.
Different ways.
Break it down for me, JB.
Look, now, Mamba mentality would have been like this.
Right.
Fucking pissed. Can't wait to get your ass in this game.
But he never laughed.
Kill you. He never fucking laughed.
Yeah.
Now, there's also a sinister laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right, motherfuckers. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Bitch made money. It's that Denzel shit from Training Day. Bitch made motherfuckers. You know, it's this dude right here.
You think you can do this to me?
Oh, you can do this to me? Now, if that was the case, I'd be, ooh, we killing that Denzel shit. You bitch made motherfuckers.
He couldn't get like that for shit.
Yo, if it was that shit, I'd be like, ooh, he mad.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But that was not that.
No.
Now,
I mean, knowing job might have been that.
I can't. I just can't find myself motivating my teammates. As a leader of my team, we got to be pissed together.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't never happening again.
Yeah.
We agree?
Yeah.
And everybody should be like, yo, this ain't.
Yeah.
They got us.
Yeah.
All right, they got us. One of those right there? Maybe. But also, see, look, here's another thing. Some things precede you.
Mm-hmm.
Some things
Could be a snowball effect.
you got to look at the snowball effect.
Mm-hmm.
You are a product of your path.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't agree with a lot of things I've seen this young man do, who to me is a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
His publicity agent, I don't know. Somebody needs to grab hold of this young man because he has so much potential to be the face of this league.
Mm.
And I just think that you become that person.
Mm-hmm.
And now you don't want nobody to say, I ain't surprised.
Yeah.
You don't want nobody to ever say that about you.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't surprised that he's sitting there laughing.
Right.
You don't want that.
Okay, I can see that.
You don't want nobody saying that ever about you.
You also use that as a defense mechanism too.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you feel like you so, it's like me against the world, then this is the only environment that I know that I can operate in.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because when I know everybody else is shooting shots at me, shooting darts and saying this and fucking with me, and I gotta protect myself. And a lot of times when you in that your own world like that, you start shooting different ways and different times that you're not even cognizant of, which is why he start lashing out, which is why he be doing shit.
And sometimes
because you in your own world, you in your own bubble. Niggas, you feel like niggas don't fuck with you.
Yeah, I mean, I
you know what I mean?
you know.
People don't, even your great days, people don't see it because they don't see you.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't see you no more. You can do the most amazing dunk.
Yeah.
All they thinking about is your path
This
that you're
yeah.
on already.
Yeah.
And they wonder if they should be rooting for you. So you can't disappoint them. You can't disappoint yourself.
Yeah.
I'll say
It's
this.
hard, it's a hard answer because, you know.
I'll say this, right?
It's a phase that, I mean, we're going to move on. I'm going to let you get your point. But it's a phase that he got to get through.
He got to get through it.
He's going through the fire.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, when you're going through the fire, it's a damn if you do, damn if you don't situation.
Yep.
And you just got to be willing to accept that going through the fire. Now, once you get out of that fire, right? We just talked about Dave Chappelle earlier when he said when he came back and he started getting sharper and moving differently.
Yep.
That's once he got out the fire. Ja got to get out the fire.
He got out the fire.
He got to just sit still and just get through the fire. And once you get through the fire, everything else will work itself out. And the narrative shifts just like that. Because if he wasn't that all the other shit that he had going on, that laugh right there wouldn't be talked about as much. It would be. It would be. Ja is he mad? That's a sinister laugh.
Yeah, it's like
it's like Ja don't give a fuck. When he gives a fuck. Like that's embarrassing
in a playoff series, right?
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you? I feel like you'd rather see the player laugh because in the playoff game, like you'd rather lose by 1,000,000 points than lose by like 1 point.
Yeah,
right?
I just want to see him. I want to see him. I don't think he did nothing wrong. You get what I'm saying?
I don't think he did anything
as a
wrong
player,
either,
you
but
sitting there. It's nothing you could do in that situation. But laugh like, yo, how the fuck you laughing? How the fuck we getting blown out like this?
I kind of see
and
him.
a fan is saying something behind you or somebody, you looking at him like, you can't really say nothing. You can't fight
we
back.
don't know the whole story.
Nah.
Because, you know, sometimes you're on that bench, like, people be saying wild stuff. I be hearing wild stuff.
Yeah.
And some of that should be funny.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this shit was funny. I got to see who the fuck said that shit. Who mouth was that? That shit was hilarious, man. You be like, yo, that was fucking funny.
Oh, yeah.
They be yelling wild shit from the stands.
Yeah, that's true.
But
that was a
you
that was
still,
a
like I said,
laugh.
you're a product of the path that you're on.
What I appreciate about Ja though is that even when the gun celebrations he got fined for or whatever, right? Like I think the next day we seen somebody on the Pistons try and do it and then like he stopped because he didn't want to get fined. And then like the next week he comes out with the grenade celebration that becomes everybody loves it, right? Like it becomes like a super popular thing. So I think with Ja, like you said, he's going through that fire because once he changed it to the grenade, everybody loves it. It's like, okay, that's clever or whatever.
You gotta go through.
But when you lose a 50-point game, they're like, why is he laughing on the bench?
The next thing Ja gonna do is
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Score and thank you. You know what I mean? It's all balancing.
They watching everything you do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
They're watching everything you do, so
you know what I'm saying?
You got to move accordingly.
Yeah. Well,
sometimes.
We rooting for Ja, man. I want to see those 50-point
I want to
blowouts.
see him become the face of the league, man. It's still so dope.
And I want to see this Thunder series get a little bit more competitive, man. Yeah. Absolutely. 50 Cent was seen last night, by the way, sitting there and speaking with our good friend Joe Budden at Game 2 between the New York Knicks and the Detroit Pistons. Two obviously have had their back and forths online and on social media and through the memes, and you can go find them yourself. I'm sure you've seen them. And this year, Joe recently said on his podcast that 50 Cent, quote, needed therapy. 50 posted their courtside interaction on X with the caption saying, quote, I ran into Joe at the game. He said, I don't need therapy no more. Man, it's good to see those two brothers cross their beef. Fuck with it or fuck out of here. Love for the New York Knicks squashing any beefs.
I fuck with it. I think it's a love for the New York Knicks, but I also think MSG is becoming the place where all the beefs get squashed. Because once you in there, you can't run from nobody else. You can't hide. You can't go over here. No, everybody
not about
is
to mess the game up.
No, you're not about to do it.
I don't care what beef y'all got.
Nah,
y'all not messing no Knick game up in the
New
playoffs.
York New York is the mecca for that too. Of just all the beefs is in New York and it's just squash and it's just. That's good, man. Nobody need to be beefing.
Like we see 50 and Fat Joe taking pictures together. Who would have thought we'd be seeing that?
Yeah, but when you look at New York and New York Knicks and that's what you want to see. You know what I'm saying? You want to see Joe and Fat, Joe and 50 courtside. You want to see that.
Jadakiss did the halftime show too.
Like you want to see all of that at the Knicks game.
Yeah.
You want to see all that.
JB Smoove in the cut. You know what I mean? He over there.
Right. Y'all got y'all the courtside click.
We clicked up over there.
We clicked up over there, man.
Who's in the house tonight? You know, on the joint. I know how it goes. They roll through everybody. It's JB.
We on the New York
Ben
Knicks.
Stiller, you know what I mean? Like, you know the crew.
You got betted on. You know, betted on those guys, man. It's
Goddamn the t-shirt cannon.
Listen, man. If you've never, I'm lucky enough. If you've never experienced that area of the Garden where it's like one side you got the Knicks alumni, you got Starks, you got Ewing, you got everybody, Melo, Marbury, Stoudemire, everybody there. Then on the other side you got JB, Ben Stiller, you know what I mean? Michael J. Fox is there sometimes, Tracy's in there, Spike's in there, and then you know on the other side you just see like the families and like the new cats, the newer celebrities, the folks that got like an album to promote or something like that. That energy of that from first floor of the Garden,
unbelievable.
That's not a beef area.
That's why
that's an area of peace.
That's why it's the greatest arena in the world.
Yeah.
And this is the greatest show.
Yeah.
It's wild because look, they didn't have to put Joe behind them.
Right.
I mean, you know, it's
they know what it was saying.
They
get the seat chart.
They the same shot, like literally right there, like it was crazy. I was like, wow, they sitting right behind each other.
Whoever did the seat chart is a peace guard himself. That's like, we're gonna put John right here.
Yeah, the peace
They're gonna talk it out.
Let's try to mend this.
Nah, but JB, man, we appreciate you, man, coming on the show, man.
Thank you so much, JB.
We've been trying to get this done for a long time. We appreciate
we've been working
you.
on this.
You know.
But look, man, look, you know, you can break bread without food. You know what I mean? And this is a perfect platform, man, to have that complete balance of what you know, we feeding people. You're feeding people's movement, man.
Yeah.
You know, you need that take. You need that take on life, man, and you providing that, man. This is a fabulous ass podcast, man. Thank you for having me, man. This has been great.
Baby, it's an honor and a pleasure.
Yeah, man, we keep moving, baby.
You're a legend, and it is truly, that couch is always a blessed place to be. But man, it's amazing to have you here, bro.
I love this couch, bro.
Motherfucking couch.
Motherfucking couch, bro.
Goddamn couch. Amazing. I had to go online and make sure I see the color of the couch. Fuck, come in here and blend the fuck in with this couch. What came first? The chicken or the egg, goddamn. Chicken or the fucking egg. What came first?
There's no better way to end that show than on that. This is 7 p.m. in Brooklyn, a Wave original by FanDuel. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube and podcast channels. Of course, it does us well if you like it, rate it, leave a comment, review, all that type of stuff. But JB Smoove, for the Hall of Famer Carmelo Anthony, my name is Kazim Famiwide, and we catch y'all next time at The Hook. Peace out.
Peace.